Before I even started writing this, I sat with a thought that stings more than most people will ever admit. Why does the Sigma male give so much time, effort, loyalty, presence, help, yet never expect anything back? Why is he kind in ways nobody sees, supportive in moments nobody remembers, generous in ways nobody thanks him for? And the answer hit with the kind of honesty that doesn't feel soft, it feels brutal. Sigma males give without expecting because they learned early that expecting anything from people is the fastest route to disappointment. They don't give to be praised. They don't give to be admired. They don't give to gain favor. They give because giving is part of who they are, not a currency to buy affection. When you give with a pure heart, the world often mistakes it for a weakness until they realize you never wanted anything back. A Sigma male's kindness is quiet, unannounced, and unadvertised. He will help someone stand on their feet and walk away before they even turn around. He will carry weight that isn't his without telling anyone it hurt. He will show up for people who would never show up for him. And the cruelest part? He doesn't complain. He doesn't keep score. He doesn't expect a return. Because he knows that most people don't love deeply, they love conveniently. Most people don't give freely, they give conditionally. Most people don't appreciate silently, they appreciate loudly when others are watching. The Sigma male wants none of that. This is the story of the man who gives without asking, supports without demanding, and cares without needing credit, and why society never notices men like him until he disappears. Sigma males exist in a strange contradiction. They're some of the kindest men you'll ever meet, but their kindness is rarely seen, rarely valued, and rarely returned. They don't fit the narrative of the emotionally hungry giver who craves validation. They don't announce their good deeds. They don't perform kindness, and they don't weaponize generosity. They give from depth, not from ego. They give from strength, not from insecurity. They give from instinct, not from strategy. And because their kindness is quiet, people misinterpret it. They think he's detached. They think he's cold. They assume he doesn't care. But the reality is harsher and more complicated. Sigma males care more than they'll ever admit, they just don't broadcast it. In a world where people post every good deed online, the Sigma male stays invisible. In a world where kindness is marketed, he remains anonymous. In a world where giving is used as leverage, he gives with no strings attached. This video dives deep into 10 psychologically loaded truths about the Sigma male's quiet generosity and why he keeps giving even when nothing comes back. 1. He gives without expecting. Because he learned early that expectations breed disappointment. The Sigma male didn't choose this mindset out of philosophy. He chose it out of survival. Life taught him through painful lessons that expecting people to give back leads to betrayal, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. He learned that most people take more than they give and forget faster than they appreciate. So he adjusted not by becoming cold, but by becoming detached from outcomes. He gives because giving aligns with his internal code, not because he expects repayment. Whether his kindness is acknowledged or ignored, returned or forgotten, doesn't shape his character. He operates on principle, not reciprocity. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. Stay yourself regardless. His kindness is rooted in self-mastery, not social exchange. 2. He doesn't broadcast his kindness because real goodness doesn't need an audience. Sigma males don't parade their generosity. They don't brag about their sacrifices. They don't capture their good deeds for others to applaud. Their kindness is quiet because they believe real goodness happens without witnesses. He helps people and disappears. He supports people silently. He steps in when nobody else does, then fades back into the background. He knows that the loudest kindness is often the most artificial, done for applause rather than impact. He'd rather stay unrecognized than perform compassion. If kindness needs an audience, it's no longer kindness, it's marketing. 3. He gives because he understands pain and he refuses to let others feel it alone. Sigma males rarely talk about their own wounds, but they feel the emotional climate around them intensely. When he sees someone struggle, something in him remembers his own lonely battles, the nights he had no one, the problems he had to solve alone, the weight he carried without help. So he gives, not from obligation, but from empathy born in silence. His kindness comes from recognizing pain without needing to expose his own. He lifts others quietly because he knows exactly how it feels to have nobody lift him. Those who were once broken understand the unspoken pain in others. 4. He doesn't expect kindness back because he doesn't trust people to match his depth. The Sigma male has depth, intensity, and emotional intelligence most people aren't built to reciprocate. He knows that expecting people to match his loyalty, effort, or kindness is unrealistic. Not because people are bad, but because most aren't wired with the same emotional capacity. So he gives without expecting, not out of loneliness or resignation, but out of understanding. He knows people can only meet him at the level of their own emotional depth, not his. He accepts that difference without resenting it. Don't expect deep water from shallow wells. 5. He gives even when nothing comes back because he values integrity over transaction. Sigma males aren't transactional. They don't tally favors. They don't operate from "you owe me." His kindness isn't a negotiation. It's a reflection of who he is. He believes that integrity matters even when it is invisible, even when it is unreturned, even when it is unappreciated. His actions define him, not other people's reactions. So he keeps giving not for praise, not for power, but because his conscience demands consistency. What you do for others reveals who you are. What they do back reveals who they are. 6. He gives because he knows most people only love when it's convenient, so he chooses to love without conditions. Most people love based on timing, convenience, emotion, or benefit. The Sigma male sees through that. He knows conditional affection when he encounters it, but he refuses to let the world turn him bitter. He gives love, support, and kindness without attaching strings because he doesn't want to become like the people who disappointed him. His kindness is rebellion against becoming hardened, transactional, or emotionally shallow. He gives without conditions because he refuses to become what hurt him. 7. He doesn't expect kindness because he understands human nature more honestly than most. Sigma males see people without illusion. They understand that many people take kindness as weakness, generosity as an opening, silence as permission, and patience as something to be exploited. He isn't naive. He isn't blindly optimistic. He isn't unaware. He gives knowing very well that nothing may come back, not because he's foolish, but because he's realistic, and his realism protects him from resentment. He expects nothing, not out of cynicism, but out of clarity. 8. He gives without expecting, because kindness is a reflection of his character, not a response to theirs. A Sigma male doesn't let the world change his core. Whether people are grateful or ungrateful, generous or selfish, he stays grounded in who he is. He refuses to let bitterness rewrite his values or let disappointment turn him into someone he isn't. His kindness comes from internal principles, not external treatment. People can fail him, betray him, or misunderstand him, and he'll still show up as the same man with quiet strength and unwavering integrity. Their behavior doesn't dictate his character. 9. He gives because he operates from abundance, not scarcity. A Sigma male doesn't give from fear of losing. He gives from a sense of inner abundance. His kindness is not a depletion, it's an overflow. He doesn't expect anything back because giving doesn't drain him. It centers him. He knows who he is. He knows what he has internally. He knows kindness doesn't weaken him. It strengthens him. His giving is a sign of emotional surplus, not emotional poverty. Only a man who has himself can give without losing himself. 10. He gives without expecting, because peace comes from letting go, not holding on. The Sigma male isn't concerned with keeping score because scorekeeping is exhausting. Expectation is exhausting. Emotional debt is exhausting. He refuses to live in that constant exchange of who owes who. He gives freely because he wants to live freely. He lets go of expectations because he prioritizes peace over reciprocity. Kindness to him is not a contract, it's liberation. He gives and then he releases. Whatever returns or doesn't return no longer controls his spirit. Letting go is the deepest form of freedom. Final note, Sigma males don't give because they're trying to be saints. They give because they carry a kind of quiet, unshakable humanity the world rarely recognizes. Their kindness isn't loud. It isn't advertised. It isn't marketed. It isn't conditional. And it isn't returned not in the same depth, not in the same form, not in the same spirit. But they don't stop. They don't harden. They don't close off. They simply learn to give without gripping, to help without expecting, to love without needing, to care without demanding. Because their kindness isn't a strategy, it's who they are. He doesn't give to be remembered. He gives because he refuses to forget who he is. And that is the quiet power of the Sigma male. He remains himself in a world that keeps trying to turn kindness into a transaction.